So today my exhort is going to be about putting a bumper sticker on life. And the reason for the exhort this time around is with my Bible class, I decided let's look at a family unit. What can we do? What can we learn? How can we live? And all those kind of things. And in this week, Liesel came to me and asked, what would your dream car be if money and time was no option? And for me, it would probably be the Ferrari 812 Superfast. And then Liesel asked me, okay, would you put a bumper sticker on that car? And I said, yes, of course I will. And we started having a discussion about this, and that actually drew me to my exhortation today. And I'm going to explain why I would put a bumper sticker on that car through the exhortation, and hopefully through this exhortation I can change your mind about a few things as well. So first of all, we're going to start off with Colossians 1 verse 10 from the ESV, and that reads, let's try that again. So as to walk in an inner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. So let's think about life as a moment. All of us represent a factor or a vessel created by God to live out his will, live out his deeds, do his deeds, and all those small little things that most of the time we take for granted. And we struggle with the idea of, okay, what is going to happen to me? Where am I going? And what can I learn from this experience while on earth? So hence been coming back to the bumper sticker on a few $1 million car. And why not? All of us drive different types of cars, and doesn't matter what shape, what size, the age of the car, is it fast, is it slow, doesn't matter what we drive, it all depends on what God allows us to do. And that comes to Romans 12 verse 1 to 2, where it reads, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. By the testing you may discern what is it, the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So I personally, I love tattoos. I've got 2 tattoos myself, and we just had a little discussion, and a few points came out I would like to share with you today that put a little bit more emphasis on the reason for this exhort. Not saying I'm wrong, Liesel's right, or Liesel's wrong, I'm right, and someone else is wrong and right. It doesn't care about that. Today is about what you feel about yourself and what you're going to do going forward. Like I mentioned, we all drive different cars in life, some fast, some slow, some old, some new, some big, some small. But it doesn't matter how you drive. If you don't know how to use it, doesn't matter what car you drive, if it's as fast as or the strongest, you'll never be able to perform at the best ability of that car or the top capability. Just to give you an example, doesn't matter if you've got let's call it a Ferrari now. When you're stuck in gridlock traffic, a guy on a bicycle with only 7 gears will probably go faster than you at that particular moment. And the same with if you're stuck in mud, you're not going to go in there with a little ATROS or something like that. You want to have something strong enough to get you out of a situation and get you to a point where you feel, okay, I can do this. The calm driving is more than capable of regarding the surroundings I'm in now to get me through this difficult time. And that is exactly what God is teaching us on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how difficult your life is, doesn't matter how bad you are or how good you are, if you've sinned, if you haven't sinned, if you remembered him, if you haven't remembered him, if you prayed to him this morning, if you haven't prayed, if you read his word or haven't read his word, he's always there willing to help you and willing to help you get through that new situation or that new challenge we're going through. In Micah 8 verse 6, we read, he has told you, O man, what is good and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. This past week, we were fortunate enough to be in Durban with Liesel's family. And in the mornings, we went for a walk, and little Ruby and Billy were sitting in the pram, and they were as happy as can be. Just sitting there, trusting us with everything we've got. Walked on the sand, walked on the road, went for coffee, didn't go for coffee, was windy, wasn't windy, it was sunny, wasn't sunny. All those different situations. And that to me told me a little story about how life can change. You might wake up this morning feeling the best you've ever felt, feeling strong, open your day with prayer, read the daily readings, and halfway through the day you get bad news. Let's call it someone that was close to you passed away. Doesn't matter how high you were in that morning, how strong you were, how at peace you felt. As soon as you get that news, that normally puts a little bit of a damper on your day. And a lot of times is how we react to that tells a lot of people about the person we are. You can either be going and cry for the next 7 weeks, nothing wrong with that, or you can continue with your day knowing there's nothing you can do about that. The person is no more. You can continue with your day, and when you get home, you can take the time and really think about the good or the bad that happened, or the memories you have of that person. In Colossians 3, verse 12 to 17, we read, "Put on then, as God's chosen one, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint against another, forgive each other as the Lord has forgiven you. So you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body. And be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in your riches, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thanksgiving in your hearts to God." And this just made me think about, doesn't matter, like I said previously, what happens in your life. God is always there willing to help you. He's always there. All you need to do is say, "God, I really need your help right now." So let's get back to the car and the bumper sticker. I'm going to just draw two analogies for you right now, and you can decide which one you want to take home today and live your life according to. There might be a guy dressed in the best suits, best of everything, a good man, healthy, strong, and whatever he does to the best of his abilities. But the only difference was this man never gave honor to anyone else except himself. Everything he did, it's all about me, and it was me that did it. No one helped me. There's no one else that can do it. Yes, this man will be remembered for being a really good businessman, or being really rich, or had the specific car you might have wanted. Now let's look at scenario 2, where you might be driving, or there's a guy with his clothes are torn, dirty hair, full of tattoos, piercings in places you didn't expect piercings. Might have, let's call it, he swore a bit, drank a bit on the weekends, or drank a lot, overeat sometimes. But whatever he did, he was always there to lend a helping hand. Always there. Doesn't matter if he had money, he will always help someone else. What is the difference between these two situations? Yes, there you've got one guy that was all about me, me, me. And on a different situation, it was a guy who didn't care too much about himself as long as someone else was happy, someone else was fed, someone else could go through a situation where he might have helped, and was always in the background, never expecting anything in return. And through this exhortation, we figure, I learned for myself, That is exactly what Jesus was, without the tattoos and the swearing and the overeating and the drinking. But he was always there to lend a helping hand. Didn't want to get credit, didn't want to get all the honor. He was just there to make sure that everyone he touched came off better. And why do we sometimes feel that today I just need to be about nothing else? I just want people to see me a bit for the person I am. And in Proverbs 22, verse 1, we read, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver and gold." And one thing that always stuck with me from a while ago was if you get invited to a banquet, don't sit on the head of the table or on the place of honor, because there might always be someone more famous than you or more better than you, let's call it that, where the host will come to you and say, "Sorry, this seat is reserved. This is for so and so." And you'll always be getting up there feeling ashamed or thinking, okay, what? Rather go sit at the seat of honor and take the back seat, making sure that you don't put too much show on yourself. And the host will always say, "Sorry, the seat is taken for someone else. Can you come forward because the seat is reserved for you?" Which one is better? How will you feel in both scenarios? And in Matthew 5:13-16, we read, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hilltop cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a blanket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." What bumper sticker are you putting on yourself? Are you just lighting a candle, just going somewhere and I was here, do a little miracle and disappear? Or are you going somewhere to make sure that whatever you do can be sustained, can be remembered, or be able to keep growing without you there? A while ago, I saw a little analogy where a group of students were in a big school hall. I think it was midnight or something. It was pitch black. And they just started lighting one candle. A little bit further, they lighted another candle. A little bit further, they lit another candle, another candle, another candle. And after a while, all these little candles, you could see, okay, there's someone there, there's someone there. And the next moment, they blew it all out again. And you thought, okay, the video is done. The next moment, they light a candle. But what they did then was each candle lit a different candle. Just to show you the analogy of how fast something can spread. And within the same time, I think it was a minute or so, the candle that lit another candle was much brighter and helder, and you could actually see what was going on. And it made me think about how many people's lives are we touching on a daily basis, not even on a daily basis, let's say weekly basis or monthly basis, that person will go and think, wow, that was great that someone did for me. Let me return the favor and go do the same. Before we end off, we're going to end off with Galatians 2, verse 20. But I just want to come back to the bumper sticker. And the reason I say I would put a bumper sticker on $1 million car, whatever, is it's mine. I didn't buy it with someone else's money. I bought it with my own. And it's mine. No one can tell me, "Yeah, you're not allowed to do this," or "Yes, you're allowed to do that." And that's what society is doing to us on a daily basis, is No, you're not allowed to do this anymore. No, you're not allowed to dream. Study hard, work hard, get a good education, and go on. Yes, it's for some people, but not every single person have to go that way. Imagine if in the time of Jesus, the disciples and the mentors and everyone forced Jesus into becoming this, we want you to be a leader. They forced him to become a king. What different story it would have been. But Jesus just said, the king, the true king will still come. It is not me. Yet he went to another man to be baptized, even though the man told him, no, Lord, I need to be baptized by you. And all Jesus said, it has to be so. So I would like to end off with Galatians 2, verse 20. And it says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loves me and gave himself to me. I'm going to ask you this question. What bumper sticker will you put on your life? Or are you just going to be another person going through the daily norms, just existing? Or are you going to be the person that put a bumper sticker on life and just truly enjoy it and do the things that needs to be done? Amen.